we're going to move on to one of the more odd aircraft, I would say, in this list. The Henschel HSP 75. Now, this one's a weirdo. Let's just put it that way. You folks think the BF 109Z is a weirdo. This is even weirder. Imagine an arrowhead just flying around. That's literally what this thing looks like.
Yep, it is. It is pretty crazy, and it seems like it would be fun. Um, it So this is the one where previously I was talking about the cannon loadout. It's a similar cannon loadout to the BF-109Z, except now they're in a centerline location, so a little bit easier to use.
Absolutely, just like the ME-262 at Tier 8, but only a tier
Yeah.
lower. This thing,
Right.
just to give it a little context, Henschel submitted this design as a successor to the ME-410. So this was meant to replace the ME-410 at some point. When? Who knows? Because it never went further forward than that.
Right. The weird look to it, you get the German planes, and you can see that they've got weird stuff going on. Oftentimes have weird stuff going on, and I found it. Of course, it's a heavy fighter, so I love it. Any heavy fighter comes in the game, I'm already in love, and so take my money, Wargaming, take my money. So
take his money, damn it.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's my thing with pretty much they do any heavy fighter, and I'm gonna. Oh yeah, here you go. I'm good. Does it perform? Who cares? It's a heavy fighter. I'll take it. So
now,
yeah.
The other key difference with this Henschel over the BF-109Z is that the 109Z has two separate engines, right? That are like totally disconnected from one another. They're their
Right.
own
Yes.
thing. Now with the Henschel, on the other hand, it was two DB609 engines put together to create a DB613. So it was basically two engines put in one to make a massive engine.
Right, which is it's pretty strange. It's a strange idea, but you can make it center of mass, so you can make it possibly a little more turny. And because it's got less skin surface area for the same kind of power, maybe give it better energy retention.
Yes, exactly.
Something like that. So slightly better turn speed, and having one engine. So there's an argument. Having one engine means that it might be easier to land an engine crit.
Yes.
But maybe not. Maybe the designers and the developers would decide, okay, this is where we'd put a little more armor, so it's less likely to get the engine damaged. Whereas in the BF-109Z, because there are two engines out there just hanging out in the breeze, it's more likely to get an engine crit.
Absolutely, yes.
So there's a discussion to be had there about how to play with the stats to make the thing fit in within the Tier 7 meta.
Absolutely, and of course there's also the question of the durability compared to the 109Z. There's the, what else is on here? You mentioned the better turn speed, and you had a really good argument for that. Better energy retention, I think you brushed over that. So basically, yeah, you basically covered all the bases apart from the question of whether it's going to be as tough, tougher, or less tough than the 109Z. I think the latter would make the least sense.
It's to balance it out against the other heavy fighters at tier. So if you were to kind of step back and look at the other heavy fighters at tier, so the Tu-1, the Russian heavy fighter, is probably the class of, it's the class of the heavy fighter group, because those 245s just wreck everything from a kilometer away, and it's got special gear that only goes on that particular plane, and so yeah. But set that aside, because it's great, but it's also a little bit slow for a heavy fighter.
But to compensate, it
So
has 700 hit points, which is basically, if
yeah,
you look
it's
at
got
it, it's
bummer hit
practically
points.
double of the 109Z.
Right. And so again, set that guy aside. And now we're going to talk about the Hornet, the 109Z, and the F7F. And if you put it up there with the BF 109Z and the Hornet, then I think it would fit within the meta just fine. Make sure that. Oh, I guess there is what the XP75. Is that guy?
Yes,
That
there's
guy's
the XP75. Let's take a look at
which
that.
in the VB10.
Yes,
Um,
VB10.
which of course nobody flies either one of those guys. So
I mean, I have occasionally with the VB10, but I don't have the XP75, so I
yeah,
couldn't say that for certain.
it's not great. Um, it's slow. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun if two guys flight up in them, because then you've got, what is it, 20 50 cals between the two of you.
That's a lot of machine gun.
That's a lot of machine gun, and they do a pretty good job against bombers, but they're kind of fragile and they're a little bit slow, and so
Not as fragile as the 109Z, though.
it's true. Um,
The
I
109Z is practically a glass cannon.
Yeah, it really is. I guess that makes sense considering it's two fighters stuck together, two light fighters stuck together. So I guess that makes a little bit of sense from a game standpoint.
I mean, it's only
And
got
so
60 more hit points than the K6, so it's just like, holy moly.
um, so where does the Henschel fit in? And maybe more hit points. Or maybe similar hit points, but the thing is turnier, right? So, okay, and if it's got better energy retention, then it should have maybe similar speed to the 109Z. There's a balancing act there, but I think it would be a worthy addition to Tier 7.
I agree.
And the way that you had it suggested that there's equipment slots would be one cockpit, two engine, and one gun. And that would be similar to the BF 109Z. It could be argued to differentiate it that it get an airframe slot instead of two engine slots.
But that's
So
another possibility, yes. I can totally see that.
I didn't recall from looking at the real world specifications if it carried any ordnance, and that might if it did actually carry ordnance, one could say, hey, what about an ordnance slot?
Possibly.
Right?
It might have not even gotten to that point, so that might just be a blank check for Wargaming to fill in.
Right. And when you start talking about premium planes and pixel planes, you can do a lot of stuff that may or may not have historical basis, just for balance or gameplay reasons. And while you and I kind of steer away from that discussion of doing magic stuff to planes, it's part of the toolkit that they have.
Exactly.
And so I don't discount that part of the toolkit, but I would generally discourage wargaming from doing that sort of thing, mostly because then you end up with planes like the P.61.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, we'll say that we have an aversion to that.
Yes, but not a we're not asking for a prohibition where it's like,
oh yeah, no.
Let's try to stick somewhere within the realm of historical accuracy, if only to keep stuff like P.61 stuff from happening. That's the ask here.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that.
Absolutely.
And we know also that there sometimes has to be magic that's done because a plane might not fit into a tier very well with the real world performance that it had. And you have to find a tier for it, and sometimes they kind of fit right between the tiers. I mean, what are you gonna do if that fits right between the tiers? You got to do something.
Exactly. You gotta give it a
So,
little push, or a
right,
little shove, or a pull,
right,
whatever.
yeah.
What I felt like I was want to say something, but now I forgot what it was. Let's see. I mean, pretty much. Um, yeah, I guess I just totally lost the thought. Anyway, so I guess we'll just go ahead and fly then. But yeah, so similarly, aircraft to the Henschel HSP-75 is obviously going to be the 109Z. The only main difference is that, well, the only big, huge difference is that the guns will not be so spread out. They are going to be center-lined, much like the ME-262. Oh, here we go. Bow right off the bat.
My least favorite map for heavy fightering.
Ah, yes, and we have a flight and unspecialized planes. That is to our advantage. Even though they're tier 8, that is still an advantage. It won't be a significant advantage to the enemy team.
You know, this is an interesting matchup, I gotta say.
Let's roll.
Absolutely. Right.
I'm gonna go to the command center. Oh, are you going for that one? I'll go to the other one.
Sounds good.
I don't have any problem with splitting up. Hopefully our bomber guy knows what he's doing.
I second that sentiment.
I think they're gonna go just take their command center just right over. They're working pretty hard at it. Yep.
Alright, that's the command center taken.
Enemy bombers inbound. Don't let them reach their target.
Well, I don't know what I've done here, but I'm dragging 4 enemy aircraft.
You're proving a distraction is what you're doing.
Right on.
And we're about to flip their middle. There you go. Keep at it, man. Or try to do your best. I'm kind of trying to wander my way over there. Ah, crud.
Now I mean, if I'm dragging 4 people, including all 3 of their humans.
I mean, that's the thing with an 109Z. It is dangerous enough. People will be like, that is a big fat threat. I should do something about that. So that was a good strategic move.
Well, once I saw them all trailing me, it's like, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
There you go.
I'm going to drag them off to the corner. They can go ahead and go to the corner, and I'm absolutely willing to sacrifice myself for that kind of action.
Mind Games 101, folks. You heard it first from Corvus Corvax.
No, I mean wasting their time is just as important as as going in and capping stuff, because if our bots are doing things, you know, that's awesome. If our bots aren't doing anything, of course, and then it's a waste of my time and effort. And here we go again. I'm dragging them. And I'm dragging them out of the zone. I'm dragging them to the corner of the map. They can shoot me down as many times as they want if they want to fly after me. I got no problem with that. Nope, they're gonna keep flying after me. That's fine. Oops. Screwed up. I went out of bounds. Yep. But there's the XP-58. He's off at the corner of the map. Can't do anything. Right. Good. Excellent work. All right, now the XP-58 is coming back on your 6.
He's been had.
I'm going to head toward the command center they just took and try to take it back.
Alright, now they're on me. Hang on, let's show them what OWSS can do. I'm coming straight toward you with all of them.
Nice. All right.
Well, as many of them as I can drag along with. Looks like they're all breaking off into the middle now.
I'm getting pummeled by B-32-age. All right. Nice work.
Oh, lordy.
Hang in there. You'll soon be cut off from
It's a bloody massacre.
Support will not be available. Victory is in sight. Keep it up.
Right. Oh dear. Our bots are having trouble over here at the command center.
Well, I just cleaned house with the massive chunk of the enemy team here. Lord of mercy. The viewers at back home are probably going to have a cow over that.
We cannot support you any longer. The storm is too heavy. Do you copy? Over.
Great. That's just great. I'm getting pummeled. There we go.
I'm coming back toward you.
The 88 took an interest in me.
And of course the guns magically decide not to hit.
Of course. Alright, let's try it again. There you go.
It doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
Oh hey, I think, yeah, our bomber was still kicking. Nice. And there you go.
We'll be waiting for you back back home.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is how to play mind games with an enemy team. Sponsored, well, not, I shouldn't say sponsored, but provided directly by Corvus Corvax. There you go. Congratulations, you now have instructed something useful.
Oh yeah, that'll be the first time though. So I appreciate that.
Well, absolutely.
They sometimes if you make the enemy do stupid things, it's maybe better than running around and capping, because it depends on who you've got on your team. If it's just you and you're dragging people around and your bots aren't doing anything, then it's not worth the effort. But if you have competent teammates, you're gonna have the opportunity to win. So while that XP-58 was chasing me around, he wasn't taking care of our bomber. And if
or
he's not
me, for that matter.
Or you. And so that's not the way you want to play the game. You want to go after the bomber. I didn't look at the team score. So I mean, our bomber did work.
Yeah, he did.
And he captured 4 sectors. You can't ask for more than that. And while he was capturing sectors, the XP-58 was off chasing me around. Hey, fun and games, but you lose playing fun and games. You got to concentrate on the thing that your plane does.
Exactly. And for the 109Z, it's to cause chaos.
That's right. So this is an example of playing your plane, even though you're not playing the game it's meant to play. You're playing games with the heads of the opposing team, and you're making them do stuff that's against their own interest. And chasing someone around the map, especially when you've got 3 players chasing the same guy around the map, this is a terrible idea. Don't do it.
Absolutely not.
Let your teammates go ahead and chase, but you don't do it. You go and do the thing that you're supposed to do, which is cap.
Right, so that wraps it up for the for the BF-109Z simile of the HSP-75.